I'm fortified as far as, well, I'm not fortified, but I have a little bird's nest and a little entry barrier, and that's enough. If there were sounds of a human, I'd know. I'd have enough time to get a weapon, and they'd be fucked. Even if it was a couple of humans, they'd be fucked. Anyway. Had to check it was still recording at this point. So obviously sometimes I go the beach way, but I've had the car parked in the same place for over a week, so I've decided to give it a breather so that people don't get a whiff of whatever. And this is just less stressful than the beach, especially with the trailer. Well, I don't know if it's less stressful once we get to the highway, but anyway. Messing around with the trailer on the beach in any conditions isn't really an option. And it's funny because the first, I don't know, at least half a dozen times I got water were via the beach. Oh, maybe not half a dozen, but a good few times. It might, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I drink a lot of water. Sometimes I've got to get water every, let's say, twice a week. So it's possible that it was six or so times before I decided enough was enough. I'm quite thirsty now. Luckily the car is close by. Sort of. So the other lovely thing about this is it's extremely windy here most of the time. At least this time of year. And the resistance that the wind causes on the beach is catastrophic. So I can go back and forth a few times without charging if I go this way. If I get caught in soft sand or wind on the beach, it can be one time. That in itself, even though this way takes longer, I could up the speed and probably, you know, still be using less resistance than if I went on the beach. Anyway, I've already gone back and forth twice on this charge, and the battery was still reading 5 bars when I started up this morning. It's now reading 4, which means it's at like 90%, and this is the 5th time that I'm doing a similar kind of ride, so yeah. Doing 13, 15 kilometers an hour or so, 10, 15. The battery will go for some time. all fairness to the bike. It's just the brakes and the shitty, cheapest Shimano derailleur, which, if I'm fair, is still holding up pretty well to the abuse. The brakes and the rack and the charge are burning out already. Not a good look. I have gotten a microphone, a very good one. And of course, and I'm going to be contacting DJI about this. I bought a DJI Action 4, like biggest bundle, and then a DJI Mic 2, and they want me to buy an adapter so that they will work together. Like, I bought from you guys the same brand, so I didn't have to worry about adapters. Didn't even think to check, because it's the same brand. Of course they work with each other, right? And I need an $80 adapter. It's not happening. So anyway, they better send me an adapter, at least half price or something. Or it's going to be a stain for DJI. Sheng Milo, DJI, y'all on thin ice. I'm considering going and getting my skateboard and just chilling a little bit before I get the water and come back. So anyway, we'll see if I find the courage for that. I have had a weird couple of nights in terms of sleep. Obviously last night was the eclipse, and the night before that I was also just feeling the moon and couldn't sleep. I was trying to get my computer to do things that it should be able to do. Anyway, so while I had a decent rest last night, it was broken. Anyway, that shouldn't prevent me from skating for an hour or so. If I had half a brain, I'd take things to charge. There are outlets there. I could even orchestrate it in a way where could be locked and charging. I should do that, but with the trailer it just creates too many opportunities for conversations, and I don't want to talk about it. Everyone wants to talk about the bike, and it's nice that people were comfortable enough to start conversations with someone who's so easy to judge on the surface. But I don't want to talk about it. People, when they start talking, you know, there's a trinity, there's a holy trinity of, hey, how are you? Who are you? And I don't like all that. And as a skater, talking to other skaters, we don't talk about that. That's how I know if I'm talking to a skater or not. Talking about all the nonsense that society is trying to get you to identify with. It's going to take away from the moment a lot. "50 is fast on this bike." It's pretty funny. The fastest it'll do in highest gear, pedaling hard, is about that fast. 48 on flat it'll do, and it doesn't feel that fast. Anyway, it's funny how when you're in control of the power, it doesn't feel so much, but then when momentum's in control of the power, it's very different. It's pretty funny having momentum in control of my power at the moment because I don't have brakes. It's gonna be a really bumshy day. Bumshy. Anyway, as far as capturing the ride, that gives you a pretty good idea of what this way looks like. You've seen the highway.